welcome to the conclusion of the final of the 888 Poker Nations Cup, where 6 teams are scrapping for $100,000. I'm Jesse May, and joining me in the commentary box, a man whose poker prowess and expert analysis dazzles and delights, Barney Boatman.
Hey, Jesse.
Let's start out by reminding you what's happened so far. This was the final leaderboard after the 6 heats have been played. Ireland and USA jointly on top with 32 points. Denmark, Great Britain slotting in behind. Germany and Sweden 24 and 21 points respectively. Those points then converted to the chips that those teams will be playing with on the final table. Ireland and the USA will be starting with 19,050 in chips, but it's very tight between these 6 teams. And the low stack, 12,500 for Sweden. Still plenty of play. The final is a tag game where the team captains will substitute players as the game progresses. They must make a substitution by the end of the 3rd and 6th blind levels, meaning 3 of their team are used in the game. The captain has the option of calling 1 timeout during the game, where he can stop play and have 60 seconds alone with his player to discuss tactics. Winning team take home the first prize of $100,000 and the 888 Poker Nations Cup. Just a look at what's happened so far at this final table.
Well, with all the teams putting in their most solid cagey players to start with, it's no surprise that the chips didn't move around too much in the early stages. But building on a strong start from Beavers, Great Britain sent in Ram Vaswani, and he wasted no time stamping his mark on the game.
Come on. He's gone all in! Ram Vaswani for Great Britain.
Block had played brilliantly for Team USA, but it was Kathy Liebert who came in with the big stick, and she used it to demolish Ben Sonnet in his very first hand.
I'm all in.
She's called! Sweden on the verge of destruction. USA looking immensely strong. They've done it! Sweden is out. Sonnet had one hand. He went all in. What a call.
Next, Denmark sent in the aggressive Theo Jorgensen to try and change their fortunes.
He's doing it. Only a king or Scandinavia is out of this tournament. And it's over. There's only 4 players left in this Poker Nations Cup.
So here's the chip position, Jesse. The USA have a slight lead over Great Britain in 2nd place. Ireland and Germany have got a little bit to make up, but there's plenty of play in these chips.
Let's remind you who will be at the table as we pick up the action.
Well, 4 very strong players at the table, Jesse, but the time is fast approaching when the captains are going to have to make those final substitutions.
Tournament referee is Thomas Kremser from the International Poker Federation, and with those hands of fate, Marina Kremser and Stevie.
Main dealers because of the ladies.
Welcome back to the 888 Poker Nations Cup final table.
I think we need more
4
women at this
teams
table myself.
remaining.
I think there's too much testosterone here.
First action from the USA. And Kathy Liebert. She has been so aggressive.
Raise to 2,300.
Jack high. Specs really got her this time. You saw him call with an ace-5 similarly earlier, Barney. He's got the ace-9 now.
He must be considering playing back, Jesse.
Counting his chips. The bet is 2,300 and Roland Specht has about 15,000.
He's considering the all-in play.
All in. Re-raise all in.
Very measured player, and he's made a measured play.
Did somebody say to the guys, give them a coaching session, every time the woman raises, re-raise? Is that like what your team captain told you to do? Is that like the strategy? Because I like it, I do like it.
Quick decision from Kathy Liebert. And you just get to see the difference between Specht and Germany having about 8,000 or 9,000 and 15 is massive, Barney. He can win money and win chips without having to turn the cards over.
Roland Specht, I know him since 8 years. He's a very scientific player. He plays it from a mathematical point. He's very successful in high-limit Omaha cash games, and I call him Mr. Cool.
The action starts with each player receiving 2 cards face down from the dealer. The 2 players to the immediate left of the dealer post the blinds. They can call, or raise, or they can fold. Once this round of betting is over, the dealer reveals the flop. 3 community cards dealt in the middle of the table. More betting follows, then comes a 4th card, the turn card, and the 5th card, known as the river. Players must make the best 5-card poker hand using the 7 cards available.
Great Britain with its nose in front for the first time this tournament. And you can believe that that is significant. And Liebert on the button here. He's developing quite a relationship
2,600.
with these raises. 2,600. Found an ace-7.
Yeah. Speck looks like he's got a decision, Jesse, and that's, well, decision he's got is how to get paid.
Well, he set this up really well, Barney. He's come over the top of her a couple times. They've got a huge relationship. Is he just going to call?
Yes, he is.
Oh, my.
Call.
I like this because he's called without much. He's called and gives it up on the flop for a few times. She's not to know. He's got no way of knowing the kind of hand that he's got.
Kathy Liebert with an opportunity to get in it. There's only 1 ace left in the deck, but there's a lot of other possibilities. Oh!
And that's that ace, and surely he must check this.
Check.
3 aces for Germany. Top pair for Kathy Liebert, and she's not getting wild.
How she found that check, I'll never know. If he checks again, surely she's got to reach for them. Oh, he's decided to play his own hand. But if she thinks this is a steal...
Well, he's taken his time with every other decision, Barney. This one is a bit quicker.
Very small bet, Jesse.
If Kathy Liebert can get away from this, Barney, it would be tremendous.
It's hard to see how she can, but she's keeping it cheap. She suspects something. She doesn't like it, Jesse. Only a 7 could get her into deep trouble, I think.
She's drawing dead right now. And how much will Roland Specht bet?
Well, that last bet was very small. It was like about between a third and a quarter of the pot. Now, he's not dwelling in the same way as he dwelt when he didn't have a hand. That chopping out of the chips.
He knows he can't be beat.
It's just a question, well, unless she's made a straight, but that's impossible. Yeah, it's just a question of counting out a bet that looks like a steal, that's small enough to get a call.
Bet 4,500.
It's almost half the pot, Barney. Will he get paid?
Well, she really has smelt a rat here. If she passes this, well, hats off, Jesse.
This will hurt the USA. She's called!
He measured it up well. She didn't like it. Her instincts were good, but very, very hard for any player to pass that.
And Barney, that's the second time that Liebert has run into pocket aces. She must feel like it's all of a sudden going against her. Germany, with that pot, has not gotten far off the chip lead. They're in second place. What pressure they've put on the USA. teams still here at the final table of this 888 Poker Nations Cup.
Nice spot for your hand.
They were the long shots, the Germans. They've never been fancied, but they have shown they have quite a poker game over there, and Roland Specht has single-handedly led that charge. Michael Kiner is going to have to replace Roland Specht at some point, and that could be a little bit tricky. How do you replace a man like this?
Well, Michael Kiner does consider that Andres
Raised to
Krause is his best
2,800.
finisher, Jesse.
Specht going for it again. I think Parkinson has asked for a timeout. He wants to talk to his captain.
Well, he won't be able to get the timeout during this hand. And meanwhile, Vaswani making a re-raise with pocket tens.
We raised to 7,200.
Oh, Vaswani's picked up a big hand. Specht has just won the chips. He could give them all right back.
He knows that Vaswani can make a lot of moves, but he's not going to commit the whole lump with King 7 off.
Timeout has been asked for, but they'll finish the hand. And Specht has an opportunity here to get himself in lots of trouble.
Altogether, you have close to 30, a little bit less.
I wonder if Porrick is going to ask to be replaced, Jesse.
Yeah, under 30.
Be very interesting to see what Parkinson does want to talk about.
The rules allow him to ask what other players have been playing. He can get a lot of information in those 60 seconds. It's either that or he wants to be replaced.
Pass.
Specht has laid it down, and there'll be a timeout. It'll be interesting to see what kind of tactics the Irish team are going to talk about now.
I called the timeout at a bad time because I wasn't really sure what was going on, and then I thought it might have been a good idea to put Don in because if he's been watching all the hands.
Yeah, right. Well, I do.
I'm not hitting anything, and I might as well give him a shot at it.
Right.
And there's been a substitution. The USA. Robert Williamson III is pulling his superstar Kathy Liebert.
Good luck, Robert. Go get him.
She got the chips, and now he doesn't want to have them given back.
And now Germany have called a timeout, Jesse. I think Specht wants to have a word with his captain.
The King Jack was very lucky.
Yeah.
And you gave me the possibility to play.
Yeah.
You went out very unlucky with kings against queens, so I think I have to quit.
Thank you very much.
Try
I
your
will
best,
try
yeah.
my best, and
Okay.
you did a great job, and I hope I can reach what you did before.
Okay. Michael, good luck.
Decades of poker experience, joining Ram Vaswani at the table, the canny Don Fagan, the cool Michael Kiner, and the cavalier Robert Williamson. It's going to be fireworks now, Jesse.
We knew this tournament was going to promise something special, but the flurry of team tactics here, never before seen. Robert Williamson brought himself in to stop the bleeding. Roland Specht asked for the anchorman to come in, and so did Parkinson.
Call.
Each team in with their anchorman now, except for Great Britain. They still have one substitution left, and
Raised
the
to
USA, of
2,300.
course, still has a timeout.
Vaswani's liable to punish a limp. Doesn't need to have any kind of hand to do it.
Don Fagan could be considering the re-raise.
Well, yes.
This is a very large precipice for Ireland, and Don Fagan's escaped.
Well, very, very impressive. He escaped losing the absolute minimum there. He didn't want to go out with the same hand that his captain doubled Vaswani up with in his heat.
Barney, it wasn't a big pot, but you can see the years of experience for Don Fagan paying off there, and Ram Vaswani for Great Britain looking like the strongest player at this table right now.
Ram Vaswani, the crazy horse. He'll be feeling very confident. He'll be going for the win. Obviously, his record in these one tables is great. You know, you'd expect to see him on the team, and we'll all be right behind him.
What a story this Great Britain team has been. Counted out, down for the count, and Joe Beavers and Ram Vaswani have single-handedly brought them back. Though there's still a possible finisher to come. And wouldn't it be great if it was the captain, Devilfish Elliott, probably the greatest closer in the history of poker.
Yeah, a lot of credit has to go to the Hendon mob, Jesse, but that will be the first time that two people have done something single-handedly together.
Look at this. Williamson folded the ace-9, but now with the queen on the button, he's come in raising, and Fagan's got a big hand.
Well, Williamson prefers to take the initiative, but he's not going to like the answer he gets from Fagan. Fagan must be considering the re-raise here.
All in would be the play.
We've seen this act before.
Is ace-jack big enough, Barney?
Ace-jack is certainly big enough.
All right. I'll go all in.
He's gone all in.
Re-raise, all
Ireland
in.
has put the hammer down. This is Don Fagan's first serious move for Ireland, and he's picked the right spot to do it.
Yes. He's asked for a count, Jesse, but I mean, he's only put in a very small proportion of his stack, Williamson. He's got no hand.
Padraig Parkinson said he wanted Don Fagan to come in. Noel Furlong agreed, and this is about what they expected. Taking it right to the USA, the Irish way, with the over-the-top all-in.
Bet you dinner on it, Jesse. He's thrown this one away.
Pass.
And this might change things significantly as far as the leaderboard goes. I do believe Ireland is off the bottom.
Yes, it is.
Don Fagan is a great player who's been on the scene in Ireland for 25 years now, and he can play any form of poker and adapt to any styles, so he's a very useful guy to have on the team.
There's been some unlikely heroes in Irish history, but Don Fagan starting to make a name for himself, and Robert Williamson not finding the going easy since he sat down at this final table. Now a raise under the gun with the king.
Pass.
And on this final table, the chip values, the black chips 100, the browns 500, but those yellow chips are worth 1,000 each.
Well, Fagan's got a serious decision. He moved over the top all in with the ace-jack, but this is an under-the-gun raise he's facing this time, and it's an ace-10, a slightly weaker hand. More importantly is the position that Williamson has raised from. This is a much more difficult decision than the ace-jack decision, Jesse.
And also, a really interesting decision, Williamson has a bigger percentage of his chips in the pot, Barney.
The other thing is, of course, he's got a player behind him, Fagan. That's Barney behind him still to act. These are all factors he'll be taking into account when he decides whether to play back again.
Fagan will count down his chips. The bet is 3,000. He has about 15 grand. Just a little touch more than the USA. And he'll have a look at Robert Williamson.
This decision is very, very marginal, Jesse. I think ace-9 would have gone by now. Ace-jack he would have moved by now.
Call.
And he's decided to call.
Pass.
He's taken the middle road.
Two players.
Oh, and USA has outflopped Fagan here.
Williamson will love this escape. He's got top pair now, and now he'd love to get all his chips in.
Well, maybe there's enough in here just for him to just move. There's already about 7,000 chips in the pot. Williamson only with about 11 or 12,000 left.
Don Fagan would love a free card. Ace or jack would give him the winner. Jack for a straight, ace for top pair. But Williamson's certainly going to move. There's a lot of money out
Yes,
there to win.
I think he's just trying to put a bit of doubt into Fagan's mind.
4,500.
Well, Fagan experienced enough to know that if he's putting in that much of his stack, the rest is going to come in behind it.
Certainly Fagan can't have liked that flop, Barney.
No. I don't think he can afford to just call, and I don't think he believes he can move Williamson off of this either. I mean, Williamson's trying to make it look like a weak steal, and he's trying to entice Fagan into attempting to raise him off it.
It was a tough decision before the flop for Ireland. It's gotten tougher now.
Good pass. He made a call when he was in front. He passed when he was behind. You can't ask more than that in poker.
Under the gun.
Pass.
Button now.
Pass.
Passed by Ireland. And does the UK want to pick on the US of A? A little limp in there.
Check.
If a 10 comes, it'll be unfortunate. If a 9 comes, it'll be a miracle.
Well, what about a straight, Jesse?
What a flop for Robert Williamson. It's the second
Check.
nuts.
Check.
He's got a huge hand.
Well, that's only lengthened
Check.
this straight, and of course, a horrible flop for a pair of 9s. Very hard for Williamson to get paid here.
2,000.
Ram Vaswani has done very well not to waste a chip so far. Will he waste any more?
Well, Vaswani was a little unfortunate. He set the trap. If he'd been raised, he would have re-raised before the flop. But once the flop went against him, he never paid another penny.
Not $1 for the USA, says Ram Vaswani. Nothing extra once he went behind. And Great Britain is looking flawless right now.
How long have we got?
21 minutes.
I'll have a timeout then.
Timeout.
I do believe that Ram Vaswani has asked to use Great Britain's timeout. He'll get to talk to his captain, Devilfish Elliott.
Listen, I see how you're feeling over there, that's all.
What's the odds of meeting you here?
You all right there?
Cool. No, everything's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. I wasn't going to ask you anything major. I mean, just the last couple of pots, because he raised 2,500, didn't he, on the blind? And I just wanted to know if he had a big hand or a small hand there.
What, Rob Williams?
No, Michael.
Michael, all he's ever had is King 8, King 5, King 6 and King 10.
Right.
That's all he's had.
Any other hands? What hand did he just have, Williams?
He had, no, he flopped the straight, 9, 10. Jack Queen King.
Right, interesting.
So when he's got a big hand, he checks it.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd just take the time out anyway. You might as well get rid of it, right?
Nice to see
Because
you,
you can't use it. Nice to see you,
Nice to see you, man. All right.
All right, Captain.
Take care.
You're not going to come on for the last 20 minutes, are you? I mean, it's about I'm playing steady anyway.
You're doing great.
You can just see what the
Listen,
rest of
I'm
them
going to give you my shoes and kick it. Listen, let me tell you something, guys. You know when his level's over, I'm going to put them back on him and send him back in as the first.
Okay, timeout is over.
Thank God for that.
Well, Barney, the best tactical use of a timeout so far, I think. Vaswani's got information. How will he use it?
That's right, Jesse. That's the first time the timeout has been used in what I consider to be the best way to use it. And Vaswani is less likely to respect Kainer's raises now, and he'll understand that a check from behind him there is very likely to mean a big hand.
Maybe it might be over, maybe too late.
Limp in from Williamson, 5 high, and pair of ducks there for the German captain.
Check.
Check.
Risk of a 4 would be very useful for the USA.
Well, he's decided those chips are lying about.
1,500.
This is a very marginal sort of decision here for Kiner, Barney.
Yes, it is. This could be a steal.
Call.
He's just called.
He's made a good call here.
3, 4, or 5.
Very hard to follow through on a bluff like this. The queen is an absolute blank. If you make a call like this once, you're liable to make it again.
Oh, wow. How deep will Robert Williamson dig?
Well, he can only win with a bet.
That's big.
This will be a very good call by Kiner, but I know he's capable of this kind of call.
The German captain will have to draw on all his years of experience here. Does he have any line on the USA play? What information has he got?
Well, he knows that this bet is liable to be a big hand or nothing, Jesse. I mean, very hard to bet this with a 9, for example. So unless he puts Williamson on a queen or some other very, very big hand, he can call. He could even call with an ace.
He's got the chips there. Massively momentum possibility for Germany if Kiner can make this call.
If Williamson had bet the 9 when the 9 had come, would he have bet again on the river when the queen came down, or would he have checked to call the bet? This is what Kiner's thinking about. This is a big hand or nothing.
Oh, it would have been a great call, but Williamson has gotten away with the bluff, and the USA captain has shown something there, Barney.
Very, very impressive to follow through. Not easy to bluff twice, and he's played a very, very strong hand there, Williamson. Well played.
Raise to 3,000.
Under the gun here from Williamson.
Pass.
9-10 of diamonds. He's opened up his game. And Robert Williamson means to play here.
Well, Ram Vaswani on the big blind. 2 big cards.
This is the chance for Vaswani to use the information the Devilfish gave him. He's peeling off a flop, and he's hit the best.
This is absolutely perfect for Vaswani. If he checks this, Williamson,
Check.
he would probably bet a king high flop anyway, but he's got second pair. He has to bet. And if Ram moves on him, Williamson may put him on a flush draw.
It's very dangerous.
4,500.
I think Ram quite likely to move all in here.
I'm all in.
Yes,
Raise
and
all in.
Williamson got a difficult decision because this could just as easily be a draw. He knows how strong Ram plays these kind of hands. He saw him play that Queen Jack of Diamonds earlier on, and he knows there's a good chance his 9s are winning. Plus, it leaves him with only about 13,000 if he puts this hand down.
Big pair.
This is a big, big decision for Williamson. He needs to get this one right, Jesse.
He has to get it right. Vaswani makes his big decisions quickly, and Williamson will lean in and ask for information.